Look at this. This is all automated.
Yeah, it is.
Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. There's still people coming into the meeting, so we'll give it a few minutes before we, or a minute before we actually start. But welcome everyone to this webinar. It's part of the webinars, the side events, the virtual side events of the Statistical Commission. So welcome to everyone who is joining us right now. Yes, I know a minute is very long, but let me start. So thank you. I'm Ronald Jensen. I'm with the United Nations Statistics Division in New York. I'm leading a team on data innovation and capacity management. I have here with me, well, I mean, there are a lot of colleagues who are joining here, and I will, during the course of the webinar, also involve more in this. But initially, I just wanted to indicate those who have helped me on the topic of today, which is the 10-year review of the use of big data and data science for official statistics. So we have Eric Dieben. He was hired last year as a consultant for us. He previously worked at the Office for National Statistics of the UK and currently is working for UNESCAP, as you can see on his screen, and he is currently in Bangkok. So Eric, thank you for joining. And for my own team, we have here Alex, Clarence, Maria. They have very much assisted in the work of the preparation of this review, this 10-year review of the survey and the interviews. And we will get to that. So what we're trying to do today in this webinar is one, I will give you a short introduction of where this work took place under the umbrella of the Statistical Commission. So I will go into the work of the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics, say a little bit about that. Then I will hand it to Eric to indicate how we executed the survey and the interviews last year in July and August. And then Eric will hand it back to me, and then I will discuss some further results which came out of that survey and the interviews, and the recommendations that we have now submitted to the upcoming meeting of the Statistical Commission, which will start on the 27th of February. And then I will open up for some comments. So first I ask a few of our colleagues who are working under the Committee of Experts to give their view on what has happened over the last 10 years and what is the way forward. And then the last couple of minutes we'll open it also up for others who may have comments or questions to us on the work of this UN Committee of Experts. So let me start with that. If I share my screen, let's see if that works. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
Good. So about 10 years ago, in 2014, the Statistical Commission requested that we would investigate, we as a statistical community would investigate how big data and data science could be used, could be beneficial for the work of statistical officers. How could those data, big data, be used to get more timely, more frequent, and more granular statistics and indicators? And what are all of the challenges that we would face? What kind of solutions could we find for those challenges? So a committee of experts on big data and data science was established. I try to see if I can go to the next screen. Created in 2014. So official members of this committee are 31 countries and 16 international organizations. But given the nature of this kind of innovative work, we do partner with academia, with research institutes, with civil society, and also with private sector on a number of topics. The mandate given 10 years ago was that this group would provide a strategic vision of a global program on big data for official statistics and promote also practical use of sources of big data, and then looking at methodological issues, legal issues, privacy, data security, and cost-benefit analysis. Also, this group would promote capacity building, look in communication and advocacy, and look into this topic of how to maintain public trust when using big data. By now, we have a very rich way of working. If you look at this screen, the light blue boxes indicate various task teams that work under the UN Committee of Experts. So we have work going on use of Earth observations, mostly in the area of agricultural statistics, use of the, for instance, AIS data on maritime transport and travel, scanner data for price statistics, and mobile phone data for a variety of official statistics like tourism, migration, and transport. We look at cross-cutting issues like privacy-enhancing technologies, what kind of training and skills are needed in this area, how we can get access to privately held data, and we're going to establish a new task team which will look at the data science and SDG localizations. So there we're merging the kind of work that we previously did on big data and SDGs and the SDG 911 into a new task team. We have also various hubs which are initiatives between some statistical offices and our department. We had a memorandum of understanding for those hubs, which help on collaboration on projects, but a lot also on capacity building in the region. So we have regional hubs in Brazil, in Indonesia, in Rwanda, in Dubai. And we have some hubs which have a more global orientation. So one is on artificial intelligence and environmental sustainability, which is in Bilbao, in Spain, and global hub on big data and data science in Hangzhou, in China, which focuses on remote sensing for agriculture statistics, and they're also looking closely at e-commerce and the digital economy. So that is a lot of activity which is taking place under this committee of experts. We also have, and I should not forget to say this, we have a collaboration environment which is called the UN Global Platform. So we have a cloud space where we can work internationally on big data projects or data science projects more generally. And also we have a committee around that to look at what kind of projects we want to run on this platform, how we wisely use our resources for the statistical community. And last but not least, we have fairly recently a data science leaders network, which looks into how data science can be integrated into the work of statistical officers. So if a statistical office would like to set up a data science teams, what would be the best steps to take? So that's what that network is initially looking into. Very quickly on some of the, as an example of the things that we do, that we have this task team on mobile phone data, which has been working, as you see on the right-hand side, on methodological guides, some publications, summer of events, does also some training regularly. The areas they work on is, for instance, tourism, migration, transport, but also dynamic population and displacement and disaster. I won't go into any details. This is just to give you a taste of what the work is. Task Team on Privacy Enhancing Technology has been working on recently on the Privacy Enhancing Technology Guide. It's available, which looks at methodologies, gives you a lot of case studies, standards, and so forth. And finally, I just highlight here the work of the training task team, which has been looking into training curriculum, the maturity metrics, the competency framework, mentorship, and so forth. So there's a lot of work which has already been going on over the last 10 years. As I mentioned, Data Science Leaders Network is relatively new. We're looking at 3 pillars of work: automation, supplementary indicators, and how data science could help modernize the statistical production. Many partners are in this area of work, as I indicated, helping the statistical community to move forward. So that was the introduction. Here I will hand it over to Eric to indicate so as I said, in July, August last year, we wanted to take stock about what has happened over the last 10 years, but also what has changed. So we had initially looking at a lot of big data sources, and I can already indicate that gradually the focus really shifting towards how data science more generally can be used. But Eric, can I hand it to you? I'll stop sharing my screen and then maybe you can share your presentation there.
Yes, thank you very much, Ronald. Yes, we're just waiting a second. Maria will bring the slides up. I'm working on quite a small screen here. So yeah, welcome everyone as well. So I'm actually dialing in from Bangkok, as Ronald already indicated. Yeah, I was very much part of the team last summer to work with Ronald and the wider team just to understand actually how we could do this review. And we split the review in kind of 3 parts. So we felt we really had to go to the people that have been working for this for many years. And actually we selected like 41 people for that. And we also felt it was really necessary to reach out to all the NSOs and also to all the international organizations that are involved in statistical work and actually have their view on different kind of categories, and I explain a bit more about that. And also then, of course, we wanted to really analyze that and then see what kind of results we did find from that actually, and how can we improve all the work that the CEBD is doing. And of course, that should help, of course, the NSOs and statistical organizations. So Maria, if you can go to the next slide, please. So we sent out, first of all, on the survey, so we sent out 195 surveys to statistical organizations and also 65 surveys to international organizations. So we had 87 back, so that was a really good turnout, and we had 15 submissions back from the international organizations. And I think I will take more of that in the next slide, but just focus first on actually the interviews we did. So if you can see on the right, like what we did was we looked at all the people that have been working in the kind of the big data area over the last 10 years. And many of those are very much involved in the different task teams, in the regional hubs, in the broader statistical work, machine learning. And we also looked at very much at the different UN organizations. We collaborated with UNECE in Geneva very much just to understand what was happening in this space. So as you can see, we have a very wide and broad list of people that actually took part. From definitely the statisticians, but also very much the data scientists, methodologists, senior lecturers. So we want to make sure that we had a broad opinion as possible to see what's working well, what are the things we can improve on. And if you look at the table in the middle, you can really see also the breakdown of that, on how we did that. And of course, we can share these slides later, so you can have more time in that as well. We also, when we received back the information, we realized that actually the categories we choose were very much on the heart of many organizations. So we developed kind of 7 questions. We looked at the UNCD mandate. So do we need to update the mandate? Is it still relevant what we decided 10 years ago? What are the terms of reference, and how do we actually apply? And Ronald already indicated in his opening that there's going to be a new task team. The UN Global Platform, of course, many have heard of it, but how can we improve, get more people engaged, and actually move from that pilot scenario to actually statistics into a live scenario. Communication is always very key. Do we need to do more? Should we do it slightly different? And of course, then we also asked in 3 more specific areas around the individual organization, on their strategic framework. What is the organization doing? How is your organization adapt to data science and machine learning? How do you work with that? How do you actually work around the ethics? How is there a cultural change? And of course, are we looking at new user data sources? So that was very much in, and the interviews typically took about 45 minutes. Very often we overran. We overran to 55, 60 minutes because there was so much discussion, and we were able actually to put and reflect a lot of that into the report that will be made available as well. If I then look to the left, we break down the submissions from the NSO. So there was 87 submissions, so that means 41% of all the NSOs actually responded, which is a really high success rate. And we had 23% of the international organizations. From those 41%, like 33 was very interesting, came from developed country, and the other 67 came from developing countries. So that is again a good measurement for us to understand where the details come from. Maria, if you would mind to go to the next slide. So these are the headers we used for the survey. So what we did, like we looked at GAMSO, this the GAMSO model, and then we also looked at the Handbook on the Management Organization of NSO Systems, and we broke it down in these like 8+1. So the 8 GAMSO areas plus the 1 extra we added at the end. Just ask people, specifically the NSOs, around the work and the involvement of the UNCBE. So, and we had some really interesting answers, like around strategic vision, legislation, that so many organizations are moving so much more and actually modernizing the way they're working on that. I mean, institutional arrangement, how is your setup? What kind of data sources you're looking at currently? Are you still having the same methodology? How is quality filtering through by actually starting using these new methods? Are you in a position to actually adapting these new data science methods into the official part, or are you still at exploration part? How do you communicate about it within your own organization? Does it change your model for human resources? How do you recruit people? How do you retain talent? Do you need to adapt your infrastructure? How is your access to your data different from maybe 10 years ago? And then, of course, we had some very similar questions for the UNCBD as we did with the individual interviews. So people just give a view if they're involved in task teams, if they heard about regional hubs, if they were interested in maybe start taking part in the mobile phone task team. Would they be willing to contribute? Do they feel they can actually learn from it? Are they able to share certain projects on that? And if we go to the next slide. So in here, I think I just put some answers we had during the interviews, and I just picked all the 5 headers. And if we just look at 2, like mandate and terms of reference, this came out very clear. And I just read it on that the focus has shifted really towards how statisticians in addressing social challenges. It's saying we need to maintain and make sure that our statistical output is still relevant. Communication. It was observed that not all regions are aware of all certain activities. So what can we do better to make sure that all NSOs and statistical organizations actually are aware of what is being given and driven out from the CBD? And I think what was also key in this, that when we were interviewing, we looked at 4 different categories. We looked, of course, at the NSOs. We looked at the international organizations. We also interviewed people from academia. And we also looked at people from the private sector, from non-for-profit. I think it really shows that we are working and partnering a lot closer across many different areas, which was very different maybe traditionally from a long time ago. So that engagement, as Ronald already indicated, like with the PET labs, is like a prime example that without working with the private sector, that would be very difficult. So we need to continue to take that forward. If you mind, we might go to my last slide. And in here, I just put a few quotes. We can all read them, and I think it's really interesting to read that first one. The term big data, it has become much more normalized. I mean, it's shifting from like a revolutionary concept 15 years ago to to just another data source. And I think that's why we also really indicated to talk about data sources. So what's relevant in your organization? You have access to so much more data. How can we link that data together now? I mean, we've gone away from that, often securing this in highly secure locations, and actually more in the cloud, in open source, but very much still anonymized things. So actually we need to find different ways, different technologies to actually make sure we can continue to do so. And the last one here is like the rise of machine learning and how big data tools can really change the output of your statistics. So with that, I'd like to hand back to Ronald, who will give us some more details on the report and on the recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. So let me see if I can all right, so you can see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks. I've just put in the chat for everyone the link to the background document, which has been uploaded officially this morning, a background document on the report of the 10-year review on the use of big data and data science for official statistics. So that background document has all of the information about this review, and what I will do in the next couple of slides is just give you a little bit of a flavor of what is in there. Eric already indicated here about how the survey and the interviews were done. So we sent surveys to all of the statistical officers and to international organizations which work with us under the Statistical Commission. On this screen, you can also see a little bit the breakdown by region about the surveys that we received back. So from Africa, Asia, Europe, and so forth. And also from the 41 interviews, we also indicated about half of them with staff from national statistical offices and about half from international organizations and private sector. The questions, that's already explained by Eric, so I will skip over on this. There were 61 survey questions online that we asked. The background document has in the last part in its annex explicitly which questions we asked, so that you can have a look at that. The interview questions, there was more a free-flowing interview, but the headers of the categories of what was discussed was on the mandate, the terms of reference, the global platform, communication, strategic framework, and so forth. So a large scope of topics were discussed related to the work of the Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science. I give you a few results. This is on the strategic vision. We wanted to see in, let's say, the multi-year plan that statistical officers or international organizations have, and what are the type of topics they take into this. As you can see from national statistical offices, they had a lot on the modernization innovation side in their multi-year plan. So I don't know if you can read this well, but if you, for instance, look at the dark blue column at the left, that's access to data from private sector as part of their multi-year plan. If we look at like the pinkish column more to the right, that's on collaboration with university and private sector partnerships. The purple one in the middle is the one on data privacy. So access to data, partnering with private sector, it's all very well part of what statistical officers, national statistical officers were doing. The international organizations So in their multi-year plan, capacity development in data science and data engineering comes out as the topic which was mostly indicated by most of the organizations. I pick up here IT management. So the question was, which of the following options describes the change of technology infrastructure in your institute for the processing of alternative data sources like big data? Here, this column in pink coming out for most statistical offices and international organizations, which actually indicates a gradual upgrading of IT infrastructure. The dark blue to the very left is this introduction of IT cloud services. Within statistical offices, it's not as so it's only about half of the offices which are going into the cloud. International organizations a bit more in the way they use cloud services. So just an indication about where offices are. And then on the new data sources, so here we have alternative data sources, which are the ones that are being used by your office. The pink one here, which sticks out a little bit, is administrative data. So that as an alternative data source is used mostly. But we also see in the dark blue to the left, satellite data being used by quite a few offices, as well as like, for instance, web scraping techniques, which is the red column in the middle. This is on the participation of officers in the work of the Committee of Experts. So here, if you look at national statistical offices, there are only of the 87 officers which responded to us. There's only a smaller portion who actually, the national statistical officers, are participating in our task teams. International organizations a bit more, as you can see to the right. When we go and we asked, one is we asked if you are participating. So not many are participating. Then we asked, Then we asked, do you want to participate? And there we got a much larger number. So we're very hopeful that a lot of the statistical officers will further join our work. It does also indicate that we think we have a lot of experts working with us. We think that we're very well represented among all of the statistical officers, but in reality, actually, there's only a relatively small portion of statistical officers directly involved in our work of the task team. So we hope that this will increase, and if one of you, if you're working in the statistical offices and you're interested in this work, please reach out to us. We're very happy if you would join. Some of the survey results in general. In the strategic agendas, 4 out of 5 NSOs have innovation as part of that. As I indicated, access to private sector data and the topics of data privacy are quite high in the priority list of statistical offices. And about half of the offices are actively developing data science capabilities. So there is also some room for further improvement there. So there are roadmaps for offices in developing areas on data science, data engineering. The offices, as indicated, are gradually upgrading their IT infrastructure, and also indicated that quite a few offices have not yet participated in the work of the Committee of Experts. We have submitted some recommendations in the official report to the Commission, and I'll give you also a few of those here. One is it's recommended that we update our 10-year-old mandate. Now, the exact wording of the update, we're still working on that. But what we are asking the commission at this point is that we should update it. And the direction in which we want to update it is more towards the use of data science, big data, and alternative data sources, whereas in the original mandate it was only focused on big data. And that within that framework of data science, big data, and alternative data sources, we look again at various aspects like the challenges, promoting of capacity building, partnerships, integration of statistical and geospatial information. We see that as a very important part of our work, and also better develop our communication strategies. As I said, I'm not going through all of the recommendations. One I wanted to pick up on is strengthening the regional and global hubs. So on one hand, we recommend that the hubs themselves strengthen their capacity and resources through partnerships, either in government, academia, or private sector, or with other NSOs and international organizations. We also recommend here that the Committee of Experts more widely promote the role of hubs as training centers and centers for international collaboration. They are in their regions, and we hope that they will be used even more going forward. This is the final recommendation that I show, is that we want to do more on communication, show more what our Committee of Experts is doing. There's a lot of work going on, but we would like to share it better with the statistical community, but also the public in general, and then streamline communications tools and so forth. Finally, this is the last slide, we are going to have an international conference. It will be the 8th international conference of our Committee of Experts. It will be in Bilbao, Spain. And the theme is informing climate change and sustainable development policies with integrated data. And it will be in the first week of June this year. And of course hope that many of you would be able to come. So I'll stop the presentation here. Yeah, we will put the slides on our website when we so we'll have a web page on this webinar. We will put the presentations up there on the website of the Committee of Experts. I hope that you have seen that website. Maybe somebody can also make a link, send a link to our website in the chat. At this point, what I wanted to do is invite some of the members of the Committee of Experts which are here on the chat, if they would like to give their view on this 10-year review, or the view in general about what this Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science has achieved, and what would be, in their view, a little bit the way forward. So I don't. Let me see if I can see who's here and who I can put on the spot. Maybe to start off, I have here Andrea da Silva. She's one of our collaborators, and she's with the regional hub in Brazil. She's been very active over over quite a few years now. And Andrea, what's your view, if I can put you on the spot on this, please?
Yeah, you can. Thank you very much, Ronald. Yeah, it's really, my view, it's really amazing what I have been doing by now. I am in the UNECBD, the committee. It's 3 years, but you were working since 10 years, and we came from scratch, let's say, because a big data 10 years ago was just an idea, just something that could have bring any benefit. And we arrive now in a point that we have the family of UNCBD. I like this expression. I love it, actually. I love to say that we are family and we have everything in there. We have the task teams discussing at high level, but also based on country cases, the use of big data for different applications. We have a great infrastructure, that's the global platform, and we have the regional hubs and the sector and the global hub to bring that to the National Statistical Office, because at the end of the day, it's very important that it comes to the ground, to the National Statistical Office. What I see is that it made from UNCBD a reference on the discussion on the use of big data and data science now coming also together for official statistics. So we have been doing a lot of things, conferences, producing material, producing discussion and knowledge, and putting together a lot of examples. And the way I see, of course, ahead we have always something to do. What I see that you didn't mention, because you mentioned a lot of actions on the way forward, but what I see is that as from the regional hub perspective, as we are doing capacity building, of course, the main challenge is resources. So the way of surmounting that is really partner with, especially with international organizations that have some fund to fund the activities. And something that I think that we can work better is also working more together among the regional hubs. So we are in a good way, and I think that we can support more each other and go ahead and go even further. So it's really, I would like to finish congratulating the colleagues that are here since 10 years. I am very new here because I am only 3 years, but I am really impressed to everything that I will dare to say we have done till now. So thank you very much, Ronald.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. That's for your kind words. And no, I appreciate. I just want to underline that the regional hubs, these are national statistical officers who are committed to help in this work that we do for the statistical community. And Brazil does it for specifically for the region of Latin America and the Caribbean. But we have other hubs also. But it is effort and initiative of the statistical office itself, and that's great. I would like to invite a few more. I see a few hands already, but I'll invite first. Let me from the community of experts. I would like to invite first Esperanza from ITU, and after Esperanza, I would like to invite Christoph, and I would like to invite Osama also to say a few words. Esperanza, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Ronald, and indeed, congratulations. These 10 years of achievement is, I think, really something that the group has to be proud of. And I think it cannot be possible without the good leadership and, of course, cooperation from different members of the CEBD. I think the cooperation that you highlighted in the outcome of the survey is key in the success of the committee. And I would like to underline that this is indeed, I would say, the greatest achievement of having this committee, that countries and experts who have experience in several areas, I would say particularly on the mobile phone data, were able to convene, exchange experiences, and share the challenges that as a group we were able to address, and at the same time use as examples for others who may want to use MPD. So those great experiences and challenges, we were also able to put them into guides and methodologies that other national statistics offices will be able to use in the future if they want to implement MPD projects. So as a task team, our collaboration with regional hubs and as well as regional commissions in disseminating these materials, I would say is key to reach out to national statistical offices and those that are interested in using MPD in their statistical data production and processes. Going forward, of course, the task team is not a task team if it will not be given the expertise and the time that the commitments that all the members have contributed to. So I also thank all of them and also extend the invitation that you just mentioned to join the task team. For those of you who are interested to learn on how mobile phone big data can be used for in the future, we have a number of activities, including exploring how we can generate synthetic data so that national statistical offices can use this to explore the methodologies that we just mentioned. So again, congratulations to the whole team and to the whole committee. And I look forward to the remaining 10 or 20 more years to go with the new renewed mandate and task of the committee. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you, Esperanza. So just to, as you might, and I forgot to say, but Esperanza is leading the task team on the use of mobile phone data for official statistics. That task team is also one of the larger task teams, about 50 or so experts working in that. Another task teams would be doing a lot of work is the task team on training, and Christoph, who is also joining us, I think, from all the way from Tokyo.
Yeah, from Japan.
Oh,
Hi, everybody.
okay.
And first of all, a happy birthday to you, because I just arrived 3 years ago, but 10 years is already quite old. And I really share the enthusiasm of Andrea, and it's good that you gave her the floor first, because I think the hubs are something that appear quite recently and may play a very important role in the future. I may come back to that, but first of all, yeah, it has been quite a journey. A lot of things have been done. In our task team, we mainly work with 3 bodies, right? NSO, by trying to providing as many training, and you mentioned a lot of them that are online. Some of them are translated right now into French, Arabic, or Russian language. We have also guidance, maturity metrics, all of that, but also we work, and that's something really important and really nice. We work with the task team. Esperanza was there. She mentioned that they provided guidance, but there are also some training that are online available to the world right now. All of that is freely available, as well as some other task team, AIS, scanner data, all of that. Also, we have, and this is quite new, and I make some advertising here as well, before coming to some comments to the report, for the International Data Masterclass, which is a brand new project that is not devoted to the usual audience, but for senior leaders. And I think this is something that we should also think of. We are not working with or for only statisticians, but also from policymakers. And we should include them in the process on designing what we want to do with this committee of experts. The global hubs, really the hubs are also training hubs, and Andrea has been emphasizing the work they're doing, and as well as many hubs, including the recent one in Indonesia, are already started doing some workshops. So yeah, congratulations for this very quick and efficient start. I think they will become major actors because they are really close to NSO. And this is super important, at least for us who are focusing on training. Without the relay of these hubs, it will be difficult to reach the NSO and also to gain information of what are the needs, the constraints, and the issue or the priorities that this NSO have. And this may be very different depending on the part of the world. And this also forces us to think ahead of how we can make connection between small NSOs in the Pacific and small NSO in the Caribbean who may share the same type of issues, but are not directly related. So I think our role in the future could be to coordinate that. You mentioned the communication, and I think for everybody, this is an issue. I like your recommendation to promote capacity building activities. Maybe we can think of how we can link this with the role of the GIST, if that is relevant here. Also, on the future, I think that and very recently we changed the name, right? We introduced the term data science in the end. It's still CEBD, BD, big data, but it's also and data science for official statistics. I think this is really important that we distinguish the two, because some NSO need data science first before going to big data. And I think this is also where our curriculum that we developed a long time ago was anticipating that. And I think also that this will be very important in the future. So many other things to do. I'm not sure I will be there in 10 years from now to see the outcome, but I'm pretty sure some other will come. And by the way, since our work group has lost some of the main hard workers, if you have some interest in capacity building or in communication, including capacity building in soft skills that are also now maybe something we should integrate, please join us. We will welcome you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Christophe. Yes. I think there's a lot of work that the training task team is doing, and if some of you are interested to join, please contact us, contact Christophe, and join them. You mentioned data science. Don't know if Osama, if we can get Osama is director of the data science campus in the UK, and he's also leading the Data Science Leaders Network, which is a recent development. Osama, a little bit your view on the current work and maybe where we are going with this work. Osama, to you.
Thank you. So first, congratulations to everyone. I think, having shown the foresight of setting up a committee of experts on big data was quite important. And the work that's been done since then, and actually sort of understanding that more and more of the data that NSOs use over time, and I think this will just accelerate, will not be data that is generated by NSOs, the government themselves. So it's not going to be survey data, it's not going to be census data, it's possibly, not going to be government administrative data. We will use all of those, but a greater proportion of the data that we use will come from elsewhere. And it will be, as we know, it will be of much higher granularity and much higher velocity. And of course, this offers lots of interesting options for the additional analysis and the statistics we can do. And so I think as part of that, as Ronald has mentioned, the UNCBD set up the UN Data Science Leaders Network, which is to foster collaboration in across NSOs in the field of data science. And we just had a workshop last week for 2 days where we have started the work on, well, not started, we started a while back when we started discussing that we should probably have a playbook, that we should develop a playbook for integrating data science into national statistical offices to a large extent, built around the 3 pillars of data science and official statistics, sort of doing the basics, getting efficiencies and, doing reproducible analytical pipelines. And then also generating additional insight, as a lot of NSOs did, using data science methods during the pandemic. And then finally, the third pillar is actually transforming the production of official statistics, where there's some good progress being made in some NSOs. So we are working on developing a playbook for that. We will iterate. It'll be available online. It'll be modular, and it will of course not be static, because the one thing we know is that new forms of data will emerge that we're not even aware of yet. New techniques will become available. New technology will become available. So we will have to keep on innovating. So I think that's where we are.
Thank you. Thanks. And also want to mention that we actually will have a webinar on the 8th of February on the work of this Data Science Leaders Network and the outcome of the work that we did in Dubai. So for those interested and want to go into a little bit more depth on the 8th of February, we will discuss that. At this point, I wanted to invite first our latest member to the hubs, which is Indonesia, and I think Setia Pramana of the hub in Indonesia is also online. Setia, if you're there, maybe you can also indicate what is happening in Indonesia, and then I open the floor for the last couple of minutes for the audience in general. Setia, please. I saw Setia there for a sec, but he is not there anymore. Is there an issue in the connection? Oh, I see a text.
Okay.
What is it?
No, it's okay now. Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
go
Because I
ahead.
don't know,
Yes.
previously
Yes.
I cannot unmute, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
I
here.
hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you everybody. So as it presents on behalf of BPS Statistics Indonesia, we are really thank you for this 10 years full support of UNCEBD for the use of big data sources for officer statistics, especially in Indonesia. And then we also thank for the task team, the MPD task team, that we have used the MPD for several statistics right now. It's already like very long way to be used as official statistic for tourism statistics, also now for migration, also transport statistics. We learned a lot from the task team to cope the challenges and the access of the methodology of MPD, the use of MPD. We also have explored several sources, web scraping and etc. And then they saw potential result, but because of legal aspect, we don't use that further. So why I mentioned that, because actually we have to I think we have like a way to have a legal aspect access. And then the use of data science now in the statistical business process in Indonesia now is part of the reform direction of BPS Statistics Indonesia. Right now, BPS Statistics Indonesia focus on the use of AIS data and remote sensing data, and then there are a lot of many things to be done. And then I really thank on behalf of BPS Statistics Indonesia the UNCEBD for the full support of the UN Big Data Conference and also Hackathon in Yogyakarta a few years ago, 2022. And then we also use the access of the UN Global Platform for AIS data. Thank you very much. Although there are some issue, Ronald, recently, but we learned from the access of AIS data, and then we study and also we use it as a case of the transport and export import statistic. And currently we try to also to use it as environmental statistics. Also, we thank for the full support and for the initiation of the establishment of regional hubs for Asia and the Pacific in the Statistics in Asia. And then I also learned from other hubs, from Andrea, from other hubs. And then this regional hub will be more or less the same as other hubs. We will have coordination between the institution in the regions, and we have do some research, also capacity building. I think also mentioned previously that we focus on capacity building. And also we focus on two, for the starter, we have to focus on two topics and the use of MPD, also remote sensing for official statistics. And hopefully we have collaboration with other the UN hubs and also global platforms. And for the hubs, we have done the opening or establishment ceremony last year in November, and then we also in the same time we have a workshop, the introduction of resensing and land cover classification, and we appreciate the support from the UN and as already we have invited several participants from the region, and then we have very good feedback, and we learn a lot how to hold the international workshop in STS Jakarta. And then for coming years, especially this year, we have set up a collaboration with the UNESCAP. First is Knowledge Hub of Asia Pacific, and also we have masterclass, mentoring, coaching. Also, we focus on the research on the remote sensing for agricultural statistics. I think for the UNCPD in the coming years, we expect that the UNCPD can enhance the collaboration, the scheme between the hubs, yeah, and then also the regions, the country, the regions, but not only National Statistic Office, but also maybe the universities, the private sectors, especially Ronald, because they have the one who have access to the data. And then we also need, I think, to put the data science on the governments. So I think we can enhance the training capacity building of government officers, not only for National Statistic Office, but also for, let's say, the BAPENA, like Ministry of Planning or other ministries, the use of data science in the simple way, but the impactful. I really agree with the playbook. That's one way of showing the importance of data science in a simple way. But I think we also can enhance that by inviting them to the training. It could be online or offline trainings. Lastly, maybe I think for us, we hope that we can have more guidance on the utilization of big data sources. Not only the utilization, but the quality assurance, the data governance, and also about the legal aspect of the data. Because those issues is now the one that we face in Indonesia, especially also in the regions. We have several cases, like academic cases, but when you put that in the practical in the office, that we face several issues like that. So usually the people or the citizens or the parliament, they ask whether we have guidance based on the UN. So if we have that guidance, it will be helpful for us. I think that's all, Ronald, and I really thank you for this UNCPD 10 years, and hopefully we will for sure we will be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you, Setia. And I mean, from your comments, we can see how broad the work is that is going on. Yes, this is Regional Hub of Indonesia. We've heard from the Regional Hub in Brazil. There's also the Regional Hub in Rwanda and the one in UAE and the Global Hub in China and the Sector Hub or the Global Hub in Bilbao on the ARIES for SIA. So there is a lot of work going on. Also in the task teams, we heard from the mobile phone task team and the training task team, but there are 7 other task teams as well, plus the Data Science Leaders Network. A lot of work is going on. Have a look at our website on this. Hussam Khalifa has been patiently waiting to give comments or make a suggestion. So Khalifa, the last few minutes for you. He's from the Palestine Bureau of Statistics. Hussam, please go ahead. Do we have the mic for Hussam?
Yes, I enabled
Yes.
the microphone.
Okay, Hussam, you're still there? Oh, you were still muted. Hussam, maybe it's coming up now. Can you check, Maria? Apparently, it's a little delay in opening up your mic. Hussam.
Hussam, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you unmute yourself, Hussam? Please go ahead. Try to unmute yourself. Okay, he says he can't unmute himself. Can we see if we can help him on this or not? It's not possible. Can you make him a presenter? Make that does it
Yeah,
make
I
it
just
easier?
upgraded him.
I
Okay,
did
now
just
it
Upgraded
that.
works.
him to a
Yeah,
presenter.
Yeah.
yeah, I can. Yeah. Okay.
Osam,
Thank
please
you.
go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Within the 5 minutes. Thank you for this invitation, and yeah, in fact, congratulations for the 10 years of this great work. Yeah, in fact, we attended recently, say 3-4 years, just when we initiated. In fact, when we launched the data science initiative in cooperation, and I totally agree with my colleague from Indonesia when he mentioned the academia and the private sector. In fact, here in Palestine, we launched the data science initiative in cooperation with one university, and then all the other universities, they attended this initiative. So what I wanted to say that within this story of data science in Palestine at the Statistical Bureau, in fact, I'm leading part of the cooperation with ONS under Memorandum of Understanding, ONS Data Science Campus. I really appreciate the efforts devoted by our colleagues there. Really, they are very cooperative. Simply, what we did during the last year, we worked on what's so-called DRAP, Reproducible Analytical Pipeline. We started working on this, on the automation of the process of the data processing of external statistics. So simply what I could say, instead of working on cleaning the data, doing the calculation, and all this process that took 5 to 7 days, now and after doing this automation based on R, we can do it only in 25 minutes. So this is the progress. What we are doing here in Palestine is simply, I am trying to invest, and I am doing this motivation with a potential statistical youth whom are looking for gaining experience in the data science applications using R, using Python, and later on using machine learning and artificial intelligence, because simply we are 100% sure here at the Statistical Bureau that the future is data science. So there will be no more working as usual and working on the usual methods that we tried to do over the last, because simply we're talking about just 31 years of PCP Swift. We just established in 1993. But during the last 2 years, in fact, we took part in the the conference that had been carried out, organized in Indonesia, the hackathon. And then I came with new ideas, and then I suggested some ideas, some cooperation. We succeeded to do it with ONS Data Science Campus. We highly appreciate their efforts. Here we have Mr. Osama with us. And really we are planning also to do more and moving towards doing web scraping for prices, and also doing machine learning for labor force statistics. We are trying to invest more and more in potential youth statisticians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hussam, and thank you for for showing how data science can practically really help your work, right? So, and I fully agree with you that this is the way forward for how statistical officers will work. We will try to automate processes that have been done manually for many years. We're gaining both gaining time and accuracy on the process. So those that's the way forward. Very happy that you say so. There is a lot of skills that need to be further developed. We need to partner with academia, research institute, and private sector, and that's the kind of topics that we will work on for the future. So we've passed the hour. There would be a lot more to discuss, but we'll leave it at this for this hour. As I mentioned, on the 8th of February, so that is Thursday next week, we'll go more into detail on the topic of data science. So please tune in then again, and let's have that discussion on how data science can help both on automation, on getting indicators for emerging issues, and on transforming the statistical production. So we'll discuss it then. Thank you very much, and please have a look at the background document and at the Statistical Commission. And I invite everyone who's not part of this group yet to join in with us. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of energy going on, and I hope you can be part of this. So thank you all for this. Thank you, Setia, Usam, Andrea, Christoph, Osama, Esperanza, and everybody else. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.